And welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a reaction to our predictions. Now, I didn't make a video on what I was predicting because I kept second guessing myself and I just ended up not putting it out. But I have the results. Well, I have the evidence. I've got the picture on my phone. I don't think you can see that, but it'll pop up in a minute. Actually, I'll get it to pop up now. And so, let's start. So, in 20th place, I predicted Sheffield United. I know. I put Sheffield United to end 20th. They actually ended 9th, which is shocking. I'll admit that is shocking because Sheffield United, like, you look at them, they don't have great players. Their attack force is McBurney, Moussier, McGoldrick. I didn't think they would go on and score many goals, win many matches, but Chris Wilder's done a good job and got them 9th, which, fair play to him. In 19th, I put Newcastle. I don't know why. I just felt like, with all that's going on, with Rafa Benitez leaving, Steve Bruce coming in, not having Mike Ashley as the owner, I just felt they were going to get nothing, no transfers in. They were just going to be a team that would do poorly without Rafa, but not done too bad. They ended 13th, which, I mean, I think that's where they ended last season as well. So I think I'm a bit ashamed I put them in 19th. And for when we do our actual next season predictions, I'll make sure I don't put them in the relegation zone because they're better than I thought they'd be. And Steve Bruce is actually doing quite an impressive job with them. So, yeah, fair play to them. 18th, I put Brighton. They ended 15th, but personally, I feel me putting them 18th was quite right of me because I just felt it's Brighton. They've not done too great. They relied a lot of last season on Glenn Murray, and he's like 40 odd now. He can't do it on his own, but they brought in more pay. Connolly came in to the team as well. Don't know who else they brought in. Lamperty from Chelsea. I just didn't feel like they were going to be a team that would stay up, and they have. So, fair play to them as well. In 17th, I put Norwich. Now, I didn't put them in the relegation zone because, obviously, as we know, they ended 20th. And on the last day, they lost 5-0. Like, I can't be doing with Norwich in the Premier League anymore. But I just thought they might have some sort of energy, some sort of... They won the Championship, didn't they? So I just thought they'd come into the Premier League with high hopes, maybe make some improvements. Timu Pukki looking good. Campbell, Godfrey, Aarons, Jamal Lewis, Buendia. They had a lot of good young players that I thought would just keep them up in the Prem, and obviously that just didn't happen. They were just terrible. They were terrible, and still somehow they beat Man City. So fair play to them. But yeah, in 16th I put Southampton. They actually ended 11th with Southampton. thought Danny Ings would nowhere near get 22 goals. The highest goals amount I thought he would score is about 15. I never thought he would get 20 plus goals and like one goal away from a golden boot. Never thought that. And they've been around that area for a little bit, and I just felt they might not do too well. But to be honest, fair play to them, they got 11th, especially when they lost 9-0. I thought they're done here. They're either going to end 15th or lower, or they're going to be relegated. And you know what? They pulled it out of the bag and they stayed up, which is fair play to them. From losing 9-0 to then having more points after that than Leicester got, because Southampton after that 9-0 loss, they got 44 points. Leicester got 42 after that. So fair play to them for doing that. In 15th, I put Burnley. Burnley were 10th. I didn't think they'd do that good. Okay, now I thought they'd do alright. You know, Sean Dyche, great manager, does great things with them. They brought in a few people, but I just felt they couldn't do great because like the attack. Come on, Chris Wood, I think they have Vidra and Vidra, whatever his name is, and the Jay Rodriguez. I thought there's no way we're going to get lots of goals with them players, and there's no way they're going to. There's no way they're going to get relegated, but there's no way they're going to not struggle. But to be honest, they didn't actually do that bad. I'm actually quite shocked they got 10th. Because if you think about it, to get 10th, I mean, let's just say Everton, Southampton in that, didn't even get 10 in the top 10. And like you would expect Everton to, and they didn't. So to be honest, with the way Burnley have been playing, they haven't played great, but they've got a top 10 spot. So again, fair play to them. In 14th, I'm ashamed of this, I put Watford. Now Watford ended 19th. And you know what? With Watford, it's one of those things. They either do good or they do bad. Lately they've been doing bad, but I thought, I forgot his name. The first manager they had, that was from last season as well as this season, start of this season. I thought he did pretty well with them, and he could help them get maybe even higher up. And I thought maybe with new signings, you know, they brought in Sarr, they brought in Danny Welbeck. You know, they have a good keeper in Ben Foster. Some good players there. I thought they would start to kick on, but they were at the bottom. They sacked that manager, brought in another manager, ended up sacking him. Then brought in Nigel Pearson, who got them out of the relegation zone, and then it went from up to just straight back down for them. And yeah, they kind of deserved getting relegated, to be honest, for beating Liverpool. Like, they deserved it. In 13th place, I put Crystal Palace. They actually ended 14th, so I actually went far off with this prediction. Crystal Palace are another team that I thought they're going to always be around that table, you know, like 12th to 15th, they're going to always be around that. They have a decent defence, a decent team overall, really. And there's not really much to say about them. They just had a 50-50 season, like usual, and I just thought they'd be around that position. But in 12th, I put Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, I'm very shocked they got relegated. I mean, not relegated. I'm very shocked they ended 17th. because they did a fun. They brought in a lot of players. Like in the summer, they brought in Nakamba, Mings, Heaton, Wesley. Who else did they bring in? In January, they brought in Samata. They brought in Pepe Reina. They brought in, I think they brought in that Target for left back. Did they bring in Gilbert, or was he already there? But they had McGinn, they had Grealish as well. They had Trezeguet, Al Ghazi, and I just thought, what a team that is. And coming from the Championship, they're going to be in high spirits. They're going to go for it. They're going to do something. And they didn't. They didn't, and they should have been relegated, to be honest. They should have been relegated. But they were lucky. And, yeah, I just don't know what happened. Hopefully, next season, they get up and realise that they need to start putting in big performances, making a few more signings, and they can be a good team. But this season was just poor from them, and they could and maybe should have got relegated. In 11th, I put Everton, and they ended 12th. So again, I didn't do too bad there. With Everton, like, I think we were 50 points ahead of them at the end. We had 99, they ended 49. It shows how good Liverpool are and how bad Everton are, really. But they brought in Moise Keane, and I was like, okay, I don't like Everton, but you brought in Moise Keane. And I rated him at Juventus. They brought in Gabamin. I thought, okay, decent shout. Only know him because of FIFA, and I thought, okay. Didn't do too much though, Gabamin. Neither did Moise Keane. He hardly scored. I think he scored 1 or 2 goals, which was poor for a prospect like him. Gabamin was injured most of the time. Who else did they bring in? They brought in some other players, and Iwobi and that, and I thought they could not necessarily get a top 10 spot, but they could be on their way to a top 10 spot easily with that team. And Everton were Everton. They failed miserably trying to get into top 10. You know, when the Blue Lukaku and that, they were getting like top 6 spots, top 7 spots, and now look at them. They're poor. And so for any Everton fans out there, I am a Liverpool fan, so screw your club, but also, I don't know what I was going to say. Anyway, let's just move on to the next one, which is Bournemouth, who I put in 10th position. They ended 18th, but I put them in 10th position because Bournemouth, they're always in around 10th to 15th. They always play well. They brought in Harry Wilson, who I thought was great young player. But to be honest, when you just look at the team, they had Lerma, a good midfielder. They had David Brooks, Ryan Fraser before he left. They had Harry Wilson, who they brought in. They had Solanke, who I think is a great striker. He just needs to have more confidence himself. They had Josh King, Callum Wilson, Ake, who carries that defence. And I just thought, do it again, they'd get maybe 10th, they'd do well again. And why was I wrong? They weren't poor. Like near the end, when they realised they were about to get relegated, they beat Everton last game, they beat Leicester, and they started performing well, and then they still managed to get relegated, and I do feel sorry for them, because I don't think they should have been relegated. I think it should have been Villa. And I hope they do well in the Championship, I really do. I hope to see them back up in in the next 2-3 seasons. But we move on to ninth, and I put in ninth West Ham. But in reality, they ended 16th. They were poor. They were one of the worst teams I've seen this season. And I don't know how. You have a defence that is pretty decent, okay? Pretty decent, average. But you had a midfield who did Matt Noble. I'm not going to say he's good, I'm not going to say he's bad, but he's the captain, he leads that team. But they brought in Fornals, they had Lanzini, Antonio, Yarmolenko, they brought in Haller, who I thought was an amazing signing. Didn't do quite much though. They also, I don't know who else they brought in, they also had Anderson, Felipe Anderson, and I thought they'd be a good team, they'd push for a Europa League spot, and they're a big team, they should be going for Europa League spot, they should be going for a top 10 spot at least. 16th is bad for West Ham. I'm quite shocked about that finish, but it is what it is. In 8th place I put Leicester. In reality they ended 5th, or should I say they bottled top 4. The reason why I put them in 8th is because I just felt they could possibly fight for a Europa League spot, but I just felt since they've won the league, they've always been around that at top 8. They've never like challenged for the title again. They never like challenged for top 4 since then. Vardy, didn't expect him to get Golden Boot. Didn't expect him to do as well as they did until the end, where they bottled top 4, and now United have got Champions League instead of Leicester, and I would have liked to have seen Leicester in Champions League, and I just feel like that's what Brendan Rodgers do. He bottles near the end. He did it with Liverpool for the title. We bottled it near the end. He's done it with Leicester. They've bottled top 4, and they were always second, third for the majority of the season until the end. And I just don't know how they managed to lose that out on top 4. I don't understand. But they did do better than I thought, and fair play to them for doing better. In 7th, I put Arsenal. Where did they end? 8th. Arsenal, a big club, didn't even get fucking Europa League, man. What is going on there? You have Aubameyang. You brought in 72 million. Pepe. You have Lacazette. You have players like Ceballos, who are great players. You brought in David Luiz, who was actually good at Chelsea. I don't know what went on there. They have Leno, a good keeper. They brought in Tierney, who is a good left back. Not better than Robertson, but he is a good left back. They have a pretty decent team, and I don't understand how they managed to get 8th. Like I said, 7th, but that's because I thought, you got your like top 5 teams: Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Tottenham, United, typical like top 5 teams, and Wolves, who are a great team. And I thought Arsenal might just get below them, because Arsenal haven't been great, but I thought they could get a Europa League spot. I thought they could get, and they just didn't do that. And yeah, there's not really much to say about Arsenal. They just performed badly. But I will say, with Arteta now in, and they might be signing people like Thomas Partey and that, hopefully they can start kicking on and start actually getting top 6 spots again. Because I actually want to see them back in the Champions League. I want to see a Leicester City, Leicester, City, Liverpool and Arsenal in the Champions League. Imagine that Champions League, man. Obviously Liverpool would win it, but imagine them other teams in it for a change. Wolves I put 6th. They ended 7th. So I'll be honest, I worked too far off there. I knew Wolves would get around 6th, 7th place. No higher than 6th though, because like listen, they have a great team. They have Adama, Traore, they have Jimenez, Jota, Moutinho, Neves, Connor Cody is actually pretty good. Willy Bowie, Rui Patricio. They have a good team. They brought in other players for the attack, Prudence and Neto. But I think the one problem is with that team, they need another striker. Like, if Jimenez gets injured, who's putting it striker? Probably Jota. But then, who having on the bench to replace Jota on the bench? You know, not Jota, Neto. You probably put Neto at left wing or something like that. But then you're missing out on someone on the bench then, and they just need extra backups for players in midfield, in attack, and then they can probably challenge for top 4. They're a great team, and it's simple as that. I worked too far off. I've actually not got one right yet. Oh no. Well, let's hope I can get one right in a minute. So in 5th, I put Chelsea. They got 4th. I really worked far off here. Now, with Chelsea, I thought 5th because I thought transfer ban, Frank Lampard, new manager, never managed a Premier League side, only managed for one season as well, and that was with Derby. Tammy Abraham, who's been in the Premier League before with on loan at Swansea and he's just never kicked off in the Premier League, but he did well, you know. The team did well. I was actually quite shocked that they got top 4. So fair play to them. You know, fair play to Frank Lampard for pushing that team to actually get Champions League. I know they've gone and signed Ziyech, Werner, and probably Havertz as well. They probably could push for 3rd, or even 2nd, to be honest. They could push this title race and make it even better and stronger. Because, I mean, this season, 3rd place I think got 66 points, 2nd got 81, and then 1st got 99. Like, it's nowhere near in a title race. So hopefully next season, more of a title race, I'm hoping. And hopefully you got like Liverpool, City, Chelsea, maybe even Leicester again, and that, all pushing for a title. But yeah, fair play to Chelsea for ending 4th. In 4th, I put Man United. They got 3rd. I don't know how they got 3rd. I really don't know how they got 3rd. Oh wait, I know. Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno, everyone's making such a big thing about him. He scored 8 goals. 6 of them are penalties, and like 2 of them are free kicks. What's good about that? Naby Keita has probably more goals from that aren't set pieces than Bruno, and Naby Keita scored less goals. You know, like so many people have scored free kicks, penalties. Like when we signed Jason Milner for free and he scored a bunch of penalties, we weren't saying he was the best midfielder in the world. You know? He's nowhere near the level of KDB. He's nowhere near that level. Okay, obviously I think he's a quality player, but I think since he's joined United, he hasn't really done much. He's got some assists that are literally like 1 yard pass, like a little pass and they just tap it in. You know, I think even Henderson could do that. Man, even Frimpong could do that, you know. And he scored a few penalties in that. All I'm saying is they need a backup for him because you can't be playing him every single game. Man's gonna have a fucking heart attack. He's gonna pass out playing this much games. You're literally starting him for 90 minutes. You're literally playing him for 90 minutes every game. He's knackered, man. I do think he's good, but I don't think he was as good as people are saying he is. Or saying that he has been this season. It's just a few penalties. When he starts properly scoring goals other than penalties, I will rate him a bit more. But yeah. And another thing actually, Jesse Lingard, people put bets on. People were about to win £600, and then right at the last second of the game, of the last game of the season, at the last second, he scores. What a fraud. But we move on to third, where I said Tottenham would get third, and they just didn't. Origi really brought them, didn't they? Since the Champions League loss in the final, they've gone on to sack Pochettino, bring in Jose Mourinho, and play absolutely dreadful. There's nothing else to say. They have been terrible. They got sixth. A team that has been getting Champions League, a team that's been so close to winning the league, has got Europa League football. Teams like Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield United, I think, have all been playing better football than Tottenham. Tottenham was shocking this season. I don't know what happened to them. In second, I put Manchester City. And in first place, I put the best team, not just in Europe, not just the world, but also England. Liverpool in first. And what happened? Liverpool got first with 99 points. No team was close to us. And I didn't even think it was possible to win the league because we're apparently bottle jobs. You know, we have players like Henderson, but then when we don't have him, we lose a lot of matches. Because I saw something, and you know, with Henderson, we win 90% of games. Without him, we win 50% of games. Didn't think he was that valuable, but he is now. They were so good. City, I just don't know what happened with them. As soon as they lost like 3 games, they just gave up. They just gave up, and we're like, right, Liverpool, you can take it. We'll have Champions League. And guess what? You're not even going to win that, because guess what? I'm actually going to do my predictions on that as well in a minute. Before we end the video, but Manchester City, great team, obviously, but you're spending 200+ million a season, and you didn't even get above 85 points. And for a team that got 100 points, then was it 97 points, and then for this season to have 81, how do you go from 197 to 81? That's poor from Manchester City. I don't know what happened with them. But then Liverpool, call us what you want, call each player what you want. At the end of the day, this was an unstoppable force, and all I'm hoping we do is sign a backup left back, sign a backup centre back, sign Thiago and another attacker, and we can retain the title. I promise you that we can retain the title, and I will be doing our predictions to the next season once I know which championship team's going up. Once I know that, I'll do my predictions on that. But there you have it. Liverpool won the league. I got that right. I am amazing. The team is amazing. If you support Liverpool and you knew they were going to win the league this season, hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button if you want United to never be in the Champions League ever again. But yeah, before we end the video, I'll just do a quick Champions League one. I've actually forgot who was in the Champions League. Let me just check on my phone. Because, for a quick second, I had it written down, but I don't know where it's gone. Right. I just want to say who I think are going to be like the last 6 teams. Last 18, sorry. So, I think that Athletic go through in that match against Leipzig. I think without Werner, I think Atletico Madrid win that. The PSG and Atalanta match, I'm gonna say PSG to win. Barcelona and Napoli, I'm gonna go with Barcelona. It's Barcelona, to be honest with you. I feel like they could go to the final even this season. Bayern versus Chelsea, I'm going to say Bayern Munich easily go through this. The Real Madrid City match, I'm going to say Real Madrid because they've been on form and I truly believe that they might beat City. But I don't know. Juventus Lyon, I'm going to say Juventus. Ronaldo's going to pull it out of the bag. So that means then the final teams are going to be Atletico, Juventus, Real Madrid, Bayern, Barcelona and PSG. Final 6 teams. I'm just going to say who I think is going to win because I don't know what the draw is going to be for the rest of the quarterfinals, for the semi-finals and that. But I'm just going to say I think we'll win the final, and that is none other than Bayern Munich. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Barcelona are going to win. Manchester City are going to win. Juventus are going to win. I agree that I thought Juventus or PSG could win, or in Barcelona. But right now, I truly believe Bayern Munich can win this. Alphonso Davies, amazing player. Robert Lewandowski, amazing player. They have so many good players, and I truly think that this season is the season to win the Champions League. If not, I think it's between Bayern and Juventus personally, but I'm gonna say Bayern Munich can edge it. And yeah, that's it for the reaction to my predictions. I will make another one for the Premier League once I know who wins this championship playoff, which should be sometime next week maybe, because I know today when the video is coming out, Cardiff and Fulham are playing in the first leg. Swansea won obviously their match, and I'm just checking now. Yeah, today when this video is going out, Cardiff and Fulham play. Then on Wednesday it's Brentford and Swansea leg 2, and then on the Thursday, so I think it's like on Sunday. So probably this time next week I'll have my Premier League predictions. I probably might end up editing that. Like I'll probably do my Premier League predictions as soon as I know, and then once all the transfers are through and that, I might make another one to see if I change any team in that. And I might even make a championship one, why not, you know. But that is it from me. Like I said before, like this video, subscribe, because we're on a target of 100 subscribers, and it means a lot if you would subscribe. Give me a comment down below what else I should do. There's a video coming out on my second channel on the day of this coming out as well, so go over there and check it out. AA76 Games. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy Adverse Archer 76, and I will see you soon.